actually one way.
Hello. 11:15.
For you.
We're starting. Okay, you guys. Hello.
Sorry.
Okay. No, today's a lot noisier than it's amazing because we probably have 2/3 the people. Noisier. In any event,
Peanut gallery at the end there. Hey. Wow. We started.
oh,
Do you want to step outside?
okay. So
I'll go to the camera.
we're okay. First of all, again, obviously my name's Oris, but the real most important thing is that we are video recording. So try and behave. Try and behave. Okay. Now the reason for that is two reasons. Number one is that our little group has got some really nice attraction from all over Canada and the U.S. And some of the things what they're asking us to do is two things they're asking. One wants me over there, wherever. One's in Montreal and one's in So to get around that, we're going to record. Okay? Now, the nice thing about that is that if there's something that you missed from me saying something, you'll have an opportunity to obviously listen. The second thing is it basically gives you a reference point. So 3 weeks from now, what did Oris say? What did Brian say? What did Linda say? You can go back. It'll be posted on our website, and then there you can basically
Post it in the group?
yeah, the activation. Now, I thank Barry for doing that. Actually, his suggestion, a great suggestion. And Christian is going to be involved with some of the editing. So my video Hollywood team is here. Okay? So, act normal? Well,
Maybe you should say don't act normal.
and if you're uncomfortable with it, too bad. So, in any event, I handed out the agenda. Again, I consider myself sort of like a pilot of this thing. I have an idea where I want to get to. Where it goes is where it's going to go. Okay? So, the first thing that we do in all our meetings is we obviously introduce ourselves. And I'd like you to spend about 30 seconds to introduce yourself. And we'll go around. Whoever wants to start can start. Linda!
There we go. Good
I'm the
morning.
pilot.
That's great. I'm Linda from Surf and Safari. I specialize in designing travel experiences to exotic destinations like Africa, Australia, the South Pacific, and Europe. I call myself the brush that adds the color to your travel masterpiece.
I'm Catherine, and I'm a mortgage specialist with Bank of Montreal. I try and align myself with real estate agents, financial planners, lawyers, any group or anyone that can refer a client to me that needs mortgage financing. But in addition to that, I also do mortgage refinances, debt consolidation, anything that's to do with mortgages. So if you have anybody that might be interested, please give me a call.
Hello, my name's Tommy. I own Tommy Jones Photography. What I basically do is primarily commercial photography. I'm here to kind of help people get their image together. That means empowerment, business portraits. I do real estate photography, you name it. And I'm always there to make it comfortable, but also to set up your image. So check out Tommy Jones.
I'm Brian Forsyth. Brian Forsyth, Executive Health Coordinator.
Hi, good morning. I'm Pamela Mallett, and my business is building relationships, and we help businesses build lifelong relationships. How do we do that? Well, I'm an affiliate also with Send Out Cards, and how to send out heartfelt cards to clients and customers, and build your relationships with them, and in return, usually your referrals come back hundredfold. So Thank you.
I'll let you know.
I'm Julie. My business is finding my business right now, so I'm learning about life.
Hi, my name is Alex. I do commercial cleaning.
Also, Alex has got the shortest 30-second. One of the most effective.
That's all you have to know, right?
I had to comment, sorry.
My name is Victoria, and I'm like with Julie right now. I got laid off from my job in February, so I'm on a kind of a new spiritual journey to see what's
I'll let you know.
what the universe has in store for me next. So it's kind of exciting.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And my name is Kim Park, and I'm a published author. My book will be out next month. And I'm also a holistic wellness coach. And I love the law of attraction and playing with the universe and being open to what it brings.
My name is Christian Narciso. I'm a photographer also, and also a videographer, so hence why I was brought up earlier about the film. I am going to edit it later today, and
Barry, how do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a videographer. I got my start back in the 90s in TV, where I produced a talk show for 7 years without no experience. But that's because I went through an open door and took advantage of that. Then I got to do a radio talk show at a commercial station for 1 year. And this organization, the Management Multimedia Foundation, been running for about 8 years. I basically take people and mentor them that graduate from Red River College universities. I've now created another company called Prey Multimedia Productions because I also want to shoot video at commercial events, such as seminars, expos, trade shows, and I've done that a lot with this organization.
Good. Thank you. Did we get everybody? You want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Richard Powell. I'm a correctional officer, and also I work in the business and personal development realm, helping people overcome their fears and really become the person they're truly meant to be.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks, Richard.
And on that note, I'll see you guys later. That's right.
Okay, have you got everybody? Yeah, okay. My name's Orest. I'm the pilot of this Law of Attraction Mastermind group. It's kind of neat to be a pilot because, like I said, I have an idea where we're going, but how we get there is going to be kind of interesting. That's what the magic is of this group. There's different things that happen. I'm in relationship marketing. I own several relationship marketing I guess probably now I got 4 companies part of that group right now. 2 are official, 2 are unofficial at this point in time. So hang on, curiosity, come and see. Okay, back to the agenda here. Okay, so we've got our introductions down. The Law of Attraction brief introduction. So I'm just going to read that just to give us a little bit of a base here. You guys don't have that, right? See, that's the privilege of being a pilot. I can do what the heck I want. Okay, the Law of Attraction suggests that you can attract positive or negative things into your life through your thoughts and actions. Okay? It relies on the theory that everything is made up of energy. I'm just going to add a little bit to it. It's also part of also frequency, but we can talk about that a little later. So the type of energy you put out will come back to you. Okay? So positive or negative comes back to you. If you're ready to use the Law of Attraction to tell the universe what you want, start by creating a positive mindset. It's all about mind. Okay? Then take the action towards your goals and confront yourself back to a good attitude. The key points here, it's energy, positive or negative. You've got to have a positive mindset. And that's got to be in conjunction with a good attitude. Usually when it's good, you have a good attitude. When it's bad, I don't know what the heck you want to call it. But in any event. Okay, so all of you have got the agenda. Again, this is kind of sort of the route that I want to go. And the third thing here is fix-its in the implementation of Law of Attraction. Okay, last week or 2 weeks ago we did mistakes in implementing the Law of Attraction. And we had such good activity in all the areas that we kind of said, hey, let's go kind of revisit this again. I didn't want to just start with one group. I initially did say, hey, let's look at mistake number 1. And that one is they change their mind all the time, and then let's focus on that this week. And then I said, man, let's just run this all together. And what I want to do here, if it's okay with everybody, not so much focus on the mistake, but on the fix-it. That's why I call it fix-it. Okay? So let's just start with number one. Mistake number one is they change their mind all the time. Okay? The fix-it is, before you begin to manifest anything, know exactly what you want. I'm a strong believer of black and white on paper, so write down a checklist of your desires. Go through that list, and then select your heart's deepest desire. The emphasis on heart, okay? And obviously the desires. Once you know exactly what you want, don't change it unless you're really necessary to do so. Because everybody says, well, I can have a different desire every week. Yeah, but if that's the case, you'll never get anywhere because you're always changing something. So that's the fix-it. Now, my thought was, okay, let's have a little chat about that and get your conversations on that. And what we'll do is we'll go down the road. Mistake two, we'll do that one, then fix it. So we're really going to be following the fix-its. So that's more of the action step. Because I find there's lots of material on law of attraction. You read it, they all do all that good stuff, but to get any benefit out of it, you've got to do the action. And so this will give you a sort of a kind of a head start. Okay? So who has done the first fix-it? From the point of view of you sat down and said, okay, these are my desires. This is how I'm going to throw out to the universe. I'm not going to get anything back. Has anybody done anything like that? Or are you doing that? Why don't you?
Okay. In my case, it's sort of happening organically. I had a hard time pinpointing what my desires were because my identity came from my career. So it's sort of presenting itself to me, and then I'm finding myself being drawn completely in the direction of what's turning out that it is my desire. I just didn't realize it. So where I thought I had difficulty visualizing and writing things down, it turns out I really don't. It started happening, and I'm able to see it. If that makes sense.
I'll just make some comments on that. Typically, right from day one, as you're a kid and going to school and everything else, there's two things with regards to where your future goes. A lot of that, at least in my generation, is controlled by the parents, the social structure, etc., etc. For example, you've got to be an architect. I don't want to be an architect. That kind of stuff. The family kind of thought about all of that stuff. So second best thing, I became an engineer. Just the way it was. So a lot of us, as we grew up, we had those kind of conditions put onto us. So they became our desires, de facto desires. And now the question becomes is how much enthusiasm did you have to really adopt those desires and run with them. Some of us, my brother always wanted to be a teacher. Well, that's what he is. He loved it. And that's kind of what the parents expected. In my case, I was kind of the black sheep, so to a certain extent. But I guess what I'm saying is that when we realize that our desires that will influence what the universe gives us or what we put out to it, is really the first step. And then the checklist is basically crystallizes that. If all of a sudden, okay, Horace, do you want to be an architect? No, I wanted to be, I wanted to run a theater, I wanted to get into show business. That kind of comes really clear when you're doing it. Because, you say, well, architect? Okay, well, let's go into the theater. That's as close as you're going to get versus the other aspect is because a part of my family was in the entertainment business. So, that's, I just wanted to kind of put something on the table that a lot of our desires and where we're going are not ours. That's kind of where it goes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Can I chime in?
You can, anybody.
So it's interesting because you spoke from a very male model kind of thing. I I was the only girl in the family. I had two brothers. And I would have to say, sorry, you know, I'm born in '64. I was really raised to probably be a good housewife in many ways, but I was definitely, that wasn't what I wanted for myself. I can cook really well. I can, you know, clean the house really quickly, and it always looks nice. I can probably set a table, but I wouldn't want to be critiqued on it. But I always had an entrepreneurial mindset. This is just an example of the law of attraction, though, and how you use the universe to not only help yourself but others, because life circumstances, life happens sometimes, and you got to find. My gosh, I had to dig down super duper duper deep and find a lot of moxie to be able to articulate not only with the raising of my daughter, which is what the book Raising Hope is all about, but and then you find out the system's ass backwards. So and like how, like, this is ridiculous. So I didn't choose that. I would have been a teacher. I definitely would have been a teacher, and that's kind of what a piece of what I do. But really, I just wanted to open up my own kind of thing. Yeah. So it's interesting how it works, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if you're always got that vision, and you keep that picture, because the subconscious mind loves pictures.
Both of what you're both saying, you're coming from a perspective. I've always wanted to be this. I've always felt this inside. Yeah. Whereas my perspective, I didn't know what I've always wanted to be. I had no concept or even being taught. It was go to school, get a job. My family, the women in my family were homemakers. Yeah. I always assumed I would have a husband and take care of the home. I had no concept of actually wanting to be something until now, until these last maybe decade or so. So it's interesting, the different perspectives of what your desires are and where they're coming from.
And that's actually one of the single best things about the law of attraction, because if you can distill that all away and sort of start looking at your life with a different set of eyes, things will change. Because typically what will happen is that once you get that checklist set up, then it's almost glowing what comes out, you know, and then from that point you've got, and that's kind of where the action step comes in, because like I said, it may be vivid to you on the checklist, but you got to do something.
I want to throw in my 2 cents.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. I'm not autistic. I couldn't draw a stick man if you drew a stick at me. But I'm just using this example. But I'm super I've got the explorer gene, and I've got the physical gene. So when I was a kid, 2 years old, I lived on a farm right there. I'd go off and get lost, and I'd look at shops and find. And I've always been exactly, just go play with the cows, whatever. So that's my, and it's led to what I do for an occupation, which is health. People that are artistic, as kids, they'll start drawing, and then that eventually they'll become something like a graphic designer or something that is connected to their passion. But their passion, in my belief, is go way back when you were a little tiny kid. So, and I'm sure everybody's got a passion that they just gravitate towards.
And that, and again, not that it's going to pop out on that checklist, but most likely it is. Where the danger becomes is that, yeah, you may be good in a certain area, but your demographics, your family, your heritage, all that stuff will say, no. This is what you want to do.
Yeah.
Huge. And the difference, it takes a while to see, you know, but you physically have to sit down and write everything out, and then you go, oh, you know, maybe my passion is an explorer. I know Cousteau wants a sidekick, and off you go. And then you kind of go, oh, maybe what my great desire is to be a captain of a Cousteau ship. And then you put that out to the universe. and then you start believing in it. You start reinforcing it. I'm just using the ship because I love boats. But all I'm saying is, so until you kind of sit down and get rid of some of the stuff, you're really not. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of times we're placed in the position of get rid of stuff when it's really we're in a dark place. Be it you lose a job or you lose a family member or something like that, because then things evaluate your health reasons and whatever else. It's too bad we can't get ourselves into that position a little quicker. But it is what it is. Okay.
I think the way Warren Buffett put it in like mistake number 1, people will change their mind. He put it in a sense where list all top 25 items you wanted to do in your life and do the top 5. And then figure it out from there. You don't need to do 25. He's just saying list the ones that you really want to do in order and just do the ones that you want to prioritize. So I think I get where you're coming from, because I did come from the corporate world. I worked in 9 to 5. I was a mechanic for 6 years before I did the switch into entrepreneurship. A lot of it was me taking a camera and like a video camera like that too, and just working on it on the side and just growing the skill sets. So in a sense, you can still work and build at the same time. But if you really want to do the jump, do the jump. Just get in there, get your feet wet.
So when you say the videoing and whatever your career is now is your calling?
I am not 100% sure, but it is one of my top 5 that I'm still exploring. Because another asset that I do want to explore is become a psychiatrist and help people mental health wise. I see that there's a huge need for that now, and there's not enough people on board with that. So that's another route I want to do, but right now I'm focusing on this.
With that, sorry, just to quickly add, because the key point there is you're exploring, and I think it's important to highlight that you have your desires and pick your priorities that are coming from inside of you. But your entire life is a journey, and it's all about that journey. So you should be exploring. You work to earn a living, and you explore to find your passion, and then you dive in.
The other addition to that is one and the same becomes like your job becomes your passion.
That's right.
That's the idea. Now, just on your top 25, there's the 80-20 rule. So the 20%, and that's why that Warren Buffett rules, because you're going to find is that if you list all 25, there are going to be, the top 20% will be really where you're at, sort of thing. And I guess my comment is, this isn't a game of, okay, I got 25, I got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 25. Because what happens is number 1 goes this way, 2, then a month later, all that other stuff I don't even want, I got a new list. And that's where you got to remember is that you can do that all the time. So I guess really my point is that if make sure that the top 5 are going to be there for a while, because otherwise it's this and this and this kind of stuff. And that's really what mistake number 1 is. I want a BMW. Nah, I think I want to vet this week. That kind of stuff. Okay.
If you don't focus, you do not get good at anything, right? You become jack of all.
And it's really, really important when it's to do with you. Because myself by nature, there's a cute looking rabbit. Another cute looking rabbit. That kind of stuff. So you got to go back and okay, I know where he's going, so I'm not even going to deal with it. So I deal in visuals, like me seeing a rabbit. Like if I'm also feeling, oh man, why the hell am I out here? And I get the rabbit visual and go, oh yeah, that's why. So it all depends on you. Okay.
Being the monkey. I think the focus is like I tend to be a jack of all trades, kind of, because I can do a lot of things. But and that's where meditation comes in and that sort of practice, because, like for instance, writing a book, it's like you've got to just decide to do it. Sometimes I would leave my house just to come back in and go, okay, I'm going to do it now. There's nothing else.
Okay. It is. And I'll tell everybody right now is that if I seem to be moving things along, I'm moving things along. So just bear with me. We can spend a whole session on mistake number 1 and fixing it, but I just want to get as much value to you guys as possible. Okay, mistake number 2. They resist their current reality. Okay? I'm just going to stick with the fix it. Appreciate what you have right now. dream big and do your manifesting rituals, but be patient and don't feel desperate to attain what you want. It will come at the right time. Let the universe decide the how and the when. So I guess the key is patience, and if you feel desperate, the universe knows it's desperate. So that's where you got to kind of catch yourself and think positive. And for that, the trick is that you've got to catch yourself, or you got to feel that you can catch yourself. Because sometimes you can't. It's just it's a runaway train. You got a choice.
You have to change that's the whole part about mindset, right? I find, like, I'm juggling 2 careers, right? I own a photography business, which I've been shooting for over 25 years, and at the same time, I'm a real estate investor. I've been studying real estate for over 6 years, right? But it's 2 full-time jobs, right? And it's now I've got it down to 70 days in the week, and I've got 3 days of photography and 4 days of real estate. But you really have to try and work it. And sometimes it does happen that you're right. That train goes and you go, holy smoke, what am I doing today? And where am I going with this? Things have changed. So you have to, that's when you do the meditation, you sit back and you go, okay, take a deep breath, reassess, and slow it down. Because if you don't, that train's going to take off. And then you go in the rabbit hole.
Just to add to that a little bit is that you also have to have a belief that the universe will take care of it. From the point of view of, okay, I can, for example, use your example, okay, I got 7 days, I'm going to use 3 days of this, 4 days of that. So you're starting to control things, for lack of a better word. And the universe doesn't like control.
What the universe likes to control.
It's not, and that's not a good word.
Yeah.
But it's what I found in my case is that when I say, okay, Orest, you're working Tuesday and Thursday, and this is what you're going to get done, and then that works 80% of the time, and then the other time it doesn't. And the time that it doesn't is usually the most effective from the point of view of, I shouldn't have done this that way. I shouldn't have just said Tuesday and Thursday. So the universe is going, I'm in control, not you. You may give me a framework, because you need frameworks. Without a doubt, you need some kind of framework. But my belief is that, and really when it comes to fruition is when I'm going, oh man, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. And then I go, you know what? I'm not in control of this bus. Let's just see where she goes.
Let it unfold.
It's when you say belief, it's even just starting with that open mind that it's a possibility, that anything is possible.
Nope. Okay, so mistake number 3. To get it the other way around. Again, I'm going to read the fixing. Think and feel good now. That is paramount. When you get up out of bed, you gotta put yourself in a frame of mind. Hey, sit, have a chair. Ron.
Winnipeg, patiently wait.
I'm just going to finish this mistake 3, and then I'm going to, because Brandy's here and Ron's here, you guys can do your interaction if you want. Okay, so the feeling good is a big deal. If you start your day not feeling good, guess what? Yeah. The only difference there is it depends on to what degree it is. So everybody says it's positive energy and everything else, but it's more of a you get out of bed, and the cat just knocked over something, or there's a plant that he's been playing with and is off the ledge, and you're going, you're going to kill him, sort of. They're not killing him, throw him outside. I don't know. But all I'm saying is you got to go make yourself feel good, and it really takes a lot of time. Okay, so think and feel good. Anytime something negative comes across your mind, immediately and consciously stop your train of thought. Then think of a blessing in your life that you're really thankful for. Then say, I choose to think and feel good. It's a choice. Your choice.
There's always a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. Now, don't fool yourself. Oh, I feel great. Oh, yeah, I'm just terrific.
I don't think they mean, even though they do mean physically is important, but when I find that I have bad is when my thoughts are bad. That's when I start having negative thoughts. That's what I think think and feel good now. If I have good thoughts about myself, about my situation, then I feel good. Everything else happens. But if I wake up feeling sick, well, I'm just sick. That has nothing to do with feeling good. Mentally, it's just physically sick. You can't really do anything. You just have to accept that. But I think that you can change your mind, that you can change your mindset by how you feel about mentally. That's why there's such a big difference between mental illness and physical illness.
I think that the distinction about feeling good involves self-care. And when you have a self-care and you exercise and you eat well,
right.
Those are all the things that help.
You feel good.
You feel good physically. I personally, I don't. You get up, you have a shower, and whatever. You sort of have a routine sort of thing. It's the financial piece is a piece where that's where you really got to work. When you don't know how, try to feel good when you're not making ends meet. And that is no fault of your own.
Exactly. But that's when I'm finding that, especially for my situation, when it says think and feel good now, it's very easy to let your life circumstances direct your thoughts. And the moment you wake up, you're not going to stop worrying about money if that's your crisis right now. But I've learned that the fact that I'm here, the fact that my animals, the fact I just look at my cat or my dog.
Being grateful for breathing.
You just grab anything that makes you feel good and hold on to that, and that gets you to the next thought.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the mindset is correct. But you got to remember, all things affect that mindset.
Of course, that's right.
The physical, the emotional, the financial.
But all I'm saying is that if you know that you've caught a bug, like you've caught the flu bug or something, there's no way that you're going to be feeling good.
No.
And then you could still be feeling good. You just got the flu bug.
But then you got to ask yourself, did my immune system get down because I'm burning the candle at both ends?
Well, of course, there's so many other things, but I was just making a different point.
No, and I agree with it.
Decide to go anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't let it get you down. Don't think about it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
As my daughter says, Dad, you're a terrible, sick person with a great personality.
I think it all begins
that's
with...
kind of what it is.
Well, also
Go ahead, Maddie. Sorry.
Sorry. I think everything in our lives, our acceptance has to be the number one thing first, I think. Once we accept what's happening, then we're in a better place to make a change of mindset as to, okay, so now where will I go? This is the way it is, and there's no change in it right now. So let's move on. What can I do that's positive for right now? And I know I've been one. I'll be the first one to put my hand up, both hands up in this room, that I'll be glad when 2019 is done. Because it's been one of those years, right? Hey, buddy. So, to just be able to, it's amazing when you can even get your head in that mindset. Okay, so this is happening. Yeah, it feels like hell, and I have to go through it, but I can't put the rest of my life on hold either while this is happening, because I got to move forward. If I don't, then I'm going to be sunk. I'm going to be sitting on the pity pot all day long, right?
It's a comfortable place.
It can. You get up with a ring, but
On that note,
one thing I would like to share with everybody is, and one of the major things that have been going on this year, we've been battling a lot with cancer in our family, and not just one, not just two, but three of us. And my huge worry, of course, has been my husband this year. And finally, after months, month in, month out, and just grabbing a hold of anything that I could find positive to keep me going, we finally had the doctor's appointment we were waiting for yesterday. Yes, Barry's going to have surgery, but no, it's not cancer. Now, of course, nothing's ever 100% until the biopsy's back, right? But it's not gone. It's not gone the way we initially were fearful of. And the thing this year was trying to keep, for myself, to keep a positive mindset while this was going on. And it's funny, you know, because we have to, like I said, acceptance. Every time I get myself into a mindset where I take 2 or 3 days and I'm doing really good and I'm going up, boom, right back down again. There's something else, right? So it's been a trial, and God has been good. The universe has been excellent in providing for me this year my means to move forward. And sometimes I think when we start thinking about the law of attraction, and you get a lot of different views around you as to some people want money, some people want cars, some want a house, I just want good health in my family. I want, you know, to be able to sit down at the end of the evening with my husband and say, you know, it's been good. It's been good today, or it's been shitty today. It doesn't matter as long as we can still sit down and talk, right? And that's where it gets to. And yeah, so I'm grateful for this group and for, you know, what I've been learning over the last couple of months with the law of attraction, especially because it's got me through the roughest point.
Well, you've got mistake number 3 to fix it covered.
You think?
You do.
And to me, just because things get better, don't forget. Fix it. We're on a journey where stuff is going to be good, bad, and indifferent. So hopefully that's a tool. Now, I'm going to go to 4, but before I do that, there's 3 people that have walked in here. Brandy was here first. 30 seconds on what you do.
Oh, well, my name's Brandy, and I own Classic Meats Catering and Baking. We do corporate catering, event catering, home catering, and custom cakes. So it's been a labor of love. I started out as I've been a project manager by trade for residential construction and commercial for a number of years, and was always doing cakes on the side while I was having babies and things. and it turned into those customers started asking me to cater events, and it turned into a big balloon where I just finally had to say, hey, I gotta go, guys. I can't come to the office anymore. I'm gonna go rent a kitchen. And here we are 19 months later, and I'm still struggling along in shared kitchens, trying to get into a retail space. Haven't found the perfect one yet, but we're still always moving forward. Good.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Ron, you were second?
Me?
Yes.
Wow, where am I today?
The address here is
236
You stumbled in by mistake.
Never mistake.
No.
Mistake was I missed
Here
the
for
last
a
one, I
friggin'
think,
reason.
because I didn't put it in my planner right. Yeah, Ron Owen. Boy, I don't know whether it's, you know, a master of nothing, but I have done a lot of different things. My basic stepping stone was career was a radio announcer, and then from there I went into sales and discovered that I could never work for another person again in my life. That I would get up every morning and look at myself in the mirror and say, "Good morning, boss." And so I had to control my own destiny, and that's something that took me about 2-3 years to gulp and say I could do this, and I did it. And in spite of the fact that people tell you you can't or you're crazy or whatever, then they get jealous because you did. So it's a bit of a strange thing. Inside of all of that, I became a general insurance broker, so I did home insurance, auto pack, those types of things. I'm always looking for things with residual income, so that pays me fairly well. My love is a company called Legal Shield. used to be prepaid legal. I was regional manager for that company for about 3 or 4 years for the province of Manitoba, and then just decided that I needed to free up some time. It's time to go do a little playing. So I've taken up the hobby of fly fishing. I make wine on the side. We have a network group that we hold every second Thursday at the Perkins Restaurant out on Portage Avenue. And I'm constantly rubbing shoulders as often as I can with people who have done greater things than me so that I can climb up and keep moving up the level rather than stationary and stagnant.
You're doing a fine job. Thank you. Philip, you're next.
10 minutes, right?
I have to 30 seconds. That's Ukrainian time.
That's typical of America, isn't it? You know, you've got 30 seconds to go for 2 minutes to tell you everything. Sorry.
All right. In keeping with what Horst is saying, my name is Philip. I work for a company called the Commerce Exchange. If you have any excess inventory or any way that you want to expand your product, just let me know and we can work something out.
Thanks, Philip.
That was quick. That was easy.
Nobody snuck in?
I think that made up for the...
Yeah, the other two.
We were tag team guys. Okay, number 4. They're doing their affirmations wrong. Okay, the fix it. Hey, well, did you get a... Did you get...
It needs work.
I don't know if I have an extra one. No, sorry, buddy.
He's got mine. Good.
Okay, sorry. These will be posted, incidentally, this will be posted on as a file on the group. Okay? Okay, so fix it. For an affirmation to work, it must be positive, obviously, stated in the present, okay, tense, brief, and must also feel right. Because, okay, I'm not fat. It's stated in the negative, okay? I will be sexy. It's stated in the future tense. Plus she has the limiting belief that she can't get fit. As for I eat healthy foods, I found that she doesn't feel, and this is just there's more information on this fixed comments up in the mistake. Okay, so it makes a little more sense to you guys. She doesn't feel comfortable saying that simply can't resist junk food no matter how much she tried. An effective affirmation would go something like, I chose to be sexy. It is positive, stated in the present tense, brief, and doesn't go against any limiting belief because she's not saying she's sexy, but only chooses to be. And that's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah.
Okay? And of course, she has to commit to living a healthy lifestyle. One way is to weigh the pros and cons of each action she will take. It almost speaks for itself. The comment is the choosing. I choose. Not I wish I was sexy. I wish I was not. I choose to be. Now that could be obviously applied to anything. I choose to be healthy. I choose to be financially free. I choose to have time for you. Whatever.
Choose to be happy.
Happy.
Yes.
Whatever. And then that would be going back to your first fixes from the point of view of your list. So it all kind of plays together. Okay.
Nice to meet you. A lot of time in affirmations, isn't it, the I am? Because it's really giving you that's how it is now, and then...
I had a problem with the I am when I was doing them because I kept feeling like I was lying to myself.
And that's
I am prosperous, or I am... So I changed it to the choose word. The more things that I attend, the more the words just coming out as I choose, or I'm grateful for, or appreciate. Because I learned affirmations using I am, and I always was contradicting myself and fighting myself with the I am. My personal experience. So I like when he used choose because recently that's just kind of organically happened also. And it gives me the empowerment.
The choose is a very, very very powerful word because it puts you right there and it puts you into the future. I am basically is I'm sexy or I'm fat, and or I'm not fat, and I got a bag of chips on
I am fit. I am fit.
Yeah. And the other one that I like about Ron, looking in the mirror. That one I'm not sure of, to be honest, because looking in the mirror is I am versus.
But if you look in the mirror and say, I'll choose.
It's going to be a great day, right?
You can't argue with yourself.
You really have to talk to your favorite person.
Ron, I want you to sell it.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm sold.
Let's not be selfish here.
Yeah.
We've got a whole group here.
Well, affirmations are really powerful. The most important thing in an affirmation, and I feel like I'm lying to myself. I went through that little bit. I said, it's not happening, it's not happening. Then I had to tell that little voice, enough of that, shut up, get out of my life. You have to shut down that inner voice that's giving you the objection. Because that may be logic, that may be spiritual, but you've got to shut it up. And that's all I can really say there. The voice, you're insulting yourself. Stop it to say, enough of that. I've had enough of your advice. Get out of here. It's just, and you would have. I heard a guy once say, when you talk to yourself, it's because you have to talk to somebody intelligent every now and
I believe that.
And who's going to care more about me than me?
Well, that's exactly it. You're accountable to your own life.
That could go both different ways.
And you know what?
Of course it can.
Whether it's I am or I choose, it's the action that you have to take after the fact. It's not just saying it. It's not just believing it, but you have to take the actions to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So just saying the words
is going to fall out of the sky.
Yeah. If you keep saying the words, you're right. You may not believe it because you're not doing anything to get there.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just like my bag of chips. Absolutely, great comments, and that's really what you want to get out of this. Is that it's nice. Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah, terrific. But then now,
but that's where the inspired. When you're talking about the action, it's inspired. Something hits you from inside, and then you just do it, and you do it in that moment.
Do it anyway.
Because you won't. If you postpone, procrastinate, then the action's gone, and you have to wait for the next one.
And that moment is lost and may never come back.
Exactly.
The biggest thing that we have is we are too fearful. Okay, and you have to jump into what you're going to do. Forget the fear. Okay. Unfortunately, as we get older, there's more fear. Remember when you're in your 20s and they say you're fearless, you can do anything? And I've seen people in their 20s going, one guy was 19 years old, he was in Saskatchewan, he got himself a large apartment building. You know what he's doing now at 20? You see, no fear. He's out in Costa Rica building a resort and asking for money. Okay, so we as we get older, we get fearful because of our experiences, and we need to forget about our past and say, okay, well, let's go with now and what we're going to do later.
That's right.
But generally, responsibilities come in as we age, and you get, mortgages and houses and children and things like that. So it kind of, and sometimes, single people with children have a different experience than, because it's not just you. And
you're still thinking for your family.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
that's part of the fear that I have.
Yeah,
that constantly sticks with me, because it's like, well, I can't do this because I have small kids.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't take this big of a risk because I got a house.
Absolutely.
This big of a risk.
Absolutely. Yeah. And sometimes, and there's the thing.
And that's what stops me.
Yeah, I do. If the subconscious mind doesn't have evidence of that yet, it will always go, well, no, you're lying to yourself. But there's the thing, so fear, it's true, but there are things that you can do to.
I'm going to be a bit of a devil's advocate here.
I don't know if he's allowed in the room.
Yeah, well, that's right. You should be positive in anything. I'm doing it anyway. But what it sounds like, and I've accustomed this, I do this. It sounds like a friggin' excuse to me, and I do it.
Well, that's
It is.
It
When you're
is.
talking about, I won't do this because I was a single mom raising my son too, and yeah, you don't take risks for the sake of your family. But what I was just saying too, life happens. So even if you think you're not going to take that risk, something eventually is going to happen, and you're going to take that risk regardless of your children or anything else in your life.
And that's the main thing that I've changed in the last year, is I'm talking myself out of that mode of thinking.
Okay, and just continue.
So you're aware of it.
Before I forget, because this is where the belief comes in, where even though it's risky, I believe that it'll be better. Because if you don't buy into that, you're always going to run into that. Different degrees. So at the end of when I get up, I believe it's going to be a great day in all regards. You know, financial, spiritual, physical, etc. And that's the way. And if my path is this way, that's my path. Big roadblock? Yeah.
That's where the acceptance.
But you know what? By the time I get to that roadblock, it may be instead of this big, it may be this big, or I take road number B and get. So my belief system is I'm going to get there. Period. Either I'm whatever I do, whatever I believe the universe is going to give me, I'm getting there. Just like I have a 5-year plan, I'm there. I physically see it in my mind, and that's kind of where, yes, I got kids too and all that other stuff, but it took me many years to say, you know what? If I don't do this, we may be in a worse situation. So we're going.
Why would your kids be not your why? Why are you doing this? Right?
Because
that's kind of going to be my point, is the fact that you're actually taking the risk and doing something that you're hesitating. What example are you setting for your children to set them up for the future, to take risks and go with their gut and go, yeah, this feels good, I'm going to do it, and not have the program that many people do stopping them from doing that, but rather, hey, my mom or my dad did that, I can do it too.
See, it's really the fear versus the belief.
Yeah.
And if the fear is up here, she's going to be tough. If the belief is up here, fear kind of goes away.
Well, it's all about the belief. The belief in yourself.
And what I mean by belief is getting it done, but belief that it'll get done somehow.
You don't have to know the how. Remember, the mindset is not realizing you don't have to know.
But because it already has in your mind, then
Exactly.
it's all going to play out.
Yeah.
Perfect. Mistake number 5. They make excuses or blame others. We're a little ahead of ourselves. But just like I always say, stuff flows. Okay, fix it. Take responsibility for your life. If you blame or make excuses, you're giving your power away. That's the key.
Exactly.
That's the key. Like Maddie, for example, mentioned that. Julie mentioned it. Everybody's mentioned it here. That one of the worst things that you can do is give your power away. In any circumstance. It's easy to say. Trust me, it's easy to say. But you've got to consciously make that decision.
And I'd like to just sort of chime in for women. No one gives you the power. You have to take it.
That's true.
You have to take it. It's just the way.
Okay.
I mean, not everybody is brave to be strong
for a bit.
No, you have
so
to take
you
it.
just take what you need.
But is that more of a?
Drag a bunch of people along with you.
That's right.
Do it.
But is that more? I've got 2 girls, and they've been basically right from day one. They could do anything they want, anytime, whatever. So my generation, that's what it was. I kind of evolved into it in any event.
Because you raised 2 very strong-willed women who know what they want.
No, it goes even further back to our family. So we're immigrants. We came here, and the whole thing was just in any event. But what I'm saying is that what was I going to say? And just on your point on women, in my 2 girls' case, they don't even consider that; they just do it.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean by taking it. You just do it. You don't think about it.
Part
You
of our
just go.
mindset.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I agree with you.
You'll
I guess
get
the
there.
meeting's over.
You're done, Lord.
Now you got to remember, I do have fun with this. So if I damage you a little bit, tough. Okay, so giving your power away. But the moment you claim that you're responsible for everything that is happening to you, you assert to the universe that you're in control of your destiny and that you can turn whatever you want into reality, no matter what it is.
I believe in that one 1,000%.
Yes.
Take responsibility. You get in an accident, a car accident, it's your fault. It's not Joe Blow's fault. It's your fault. You were in the wrong spot, wrong time. You sped. You did something wrong. It's your fault.
The moment you open your eyes, you're making choices. Every choice leads to a result.
You're an alcoholic because, well, you might be susceptible, but who forced you to drink? This is not
Yeah, no one recorded that. No, it's true, and that is really, that's basically proactivity. But I would have to say, buy my book, because I did take full responsibility, and it didn't work out, because the system has to be set up for people to take responsibility. You will look at any news thing or anything, you know what, the previous government will blame the other government. It is out there. It is like the cycle of denial. And no one takes responsibility. So there's not a lot of good models out there. So there's a lot of inertia to overcome to do that. And when you do, believe me, you will be vilified.
The key and the trick is it starts from inside.
Absolutely. And when you know that, when your core is so, and it comes from core values and it comes from a why. You want a better life. Each generation should be doing better than the last.
Yeah, exactly.
And just further onto that, it's really you. Like, don't worry about anybody else.
And that's what, when Manny's talking about acceptance, like, if that's where it starts. Once you accept, then you move.
Now, number 5 fixes is probably one of the best.
That's what gives you the power to take.
Number 6. We are at 12:12, so we're going to run this till 1 if not. So numbers, they don't take action. Another point that we already. And there are 2 kinds of action you must take, which is kind of interesting. First, act the part. Okay? If you want to become a millionaire, do the things that they do. Test drive your dream car, tour around the best homes, visit a 5-star hotel. You've got to move to like the person you want to become. Walk, talk, dress, behave like a wealthy person. Mingle with the richest of them.
Because that was the hardest part for me, was I'm not going to act like a millionaire. It didn't resonate. Then I started thinking, well, it's not even just, you start with following. You start with listening to somebody speak or watching a YouTube video. Like, you start somewhere, and the more you do, the more things, you start talking to somebody in that where you want to be. And then it progresses from there. It's just starting that process.
You brought up a very good point, because just the other day I was watching a video, and it's all about the smartest, the richest, most successful businessmen in the world, and it was the way they speak and the way they talk about things. So I think the following and being around them is just to hear and understand how they work and how that all flows and ebbs. It was very interesting, and some of it was very complicated speech, but some of it was very casual as well. So the difference between, let's say, Bezos and Branson, there's a very big difference between the way those two speak. But it's interesting, so that's why you get around.
And the rich that have followings don't talk about their money.
Correct. That's right.
The only ones that talk about money are the wannabes. Okay, so
and they are quick to point out their mentors and how they got to be where they are. They're quick to say, listen, if it wasn't for this guy, I wouldn't be here today. And they talk about success, not money.
Gratitude.
And gratitude.
Gratitude is universal.
So that's the richness right there, right? That's the richness, not the money.
Exactly.
Now, the second type of action is called inspired action. We can pull this together in a couple seconds. This is where you'll listen to your inner voice, okay? And act on the synchronicities and the lucky events that you're attracting into your life. I love lucky events. Well, guess what? I believe that all my events are lucky. That's kind of the way I do it. Okay? Do you have a gut feeling to call someone? Absolutely. Act on your promptings. I do that all the time. Especially with Facebook or somebody phone, whatever. And I never did until I realized how powerful it is. And it's powerful in two ways. It's me doing it, and the person that's receiving it is gonna benefit. But you know what? I benefit more than they do. Especially when when you get reconfirmed or reaffirmed that actually what you're doing is bringing some kindness or some goodness into a situation that you really didn't even know about. In any event, okay. So did you get a job offer from a long lost friend? Do you have the urge to buy a book about a topic you're interested in? Act on it immediately. Act on it. Like to me, if I don't have a prompting during the day, I'm having not so much a lousy day, but I'm not having a full day, which basically indicates to me is get off your butt and go somewhere. Go to a coffee shop or phone somebody because I think one of the natural God-given rights is that we should have a prompting every day to do something. In any event, the first part, act on the part, that's mindset. That's your mind. Any comments on that at all? Both actions inspired or...
I agree. I've got sort of a little philosophy that people come and go in your life, but they probably never call you even though they say they will. And I have people pop up in my mind, and I'm sitting there fighting it. Finally, I pick up the phone and I'll call them, and it was the right moment.
Yeah.
Something's going on in their life. I just recently had a friend I had coffee with. He just lost his wife. I realized I hadn't seen him for about 6 weeks. Oops! I need to pick up the phone and call him because I was meeting him on a daily or weekly or bi-weekly basis. It's a life changer when you reach out and touch somebody. Like for me, it's fun for me to pick up the phone and call someone and find out that it's like sharing a smile. Okay, it's contagious and it costs you nothing. It's a lot of fun.
It's interesting.
Help someone get through a day.
Yeah, I have a whole chapter on that in my book because.
So will I.
Yeah. No, it's true because that doesn't happen in real life.
No.
I can tell you. In 1997, and today's her birthday. She's 23, and she's born with a rare syndrome. I had people bringing friends a rare syndrome called Wolf-Hirschhorn syndrome. Wolf-Hirschhorn. Wolf-Hirschhorn syndrome. So that's exactly what happened. You come home and you get people coming to see you, and I wasn't getting baby gifts until she was almost a year old because people didn't think that she would live. And every day I had, you still put on the brave face and you still looked after your, other children but no one called to check in. I had to do the calling, and it's still like that.
But that pointing to your promptings, when you're in a life like that or any circumstances, when you're in it for a long time, and that's relative to who you are as an individual, you stop seeing promptings, or you don't recognize them when they come. As soon as you feel something, and you notice that you feel something, then you act right away, because you can become numb to them, and that's what happened. I feel like I lost my intuition over time, because I became so numb to different things, because you were in it for so long that you lost recognition of what could be outside of it. I'm only now starting to have those promptings that Oris keeps talking about, because I couldn't see them before.
It's interesting because intuition has always been really highly developed in me. In fact, I knew there was something wrong before it was visually confirmed at her
You have
birth.
to exercise it when it comes.
Exactly. And I did, by asking the doctor, can we do some more tests? Can we do some more tests? Oh, everything's fine, everything's fine. I do believe my intuition tells me that that was not disclosed to me. I asked for my medical records because they are your personal property, and you can ask for those from any doctor. Sometimes, but I did get them. There were pieces missing. I was going, why are those pieces missing? She goes, oh, we called all the records. No, you just called my records. I'm changing doctors.
I'm looking forward to the book.
It's going to be an eye opener 2020.
But I guess one of the points that Julie mentioned is universe. Send energies, positive and negative, but there's also the frequency, the vibration. And one point that you kind of mentioned, we all sort of transmit frequency, but we also receive a frequency. So over time, you have to watch that, because over time you may not so much you change your frequency, but you reduce the receiving wattage of it and the transmitting wattage of it. So all this stuff is still out there, but you're not assuming it, or you're not receiving it. And that's a big thing when it comes to, yes, we'll send the energy and everything else, but you may send and you receive. But if your frequency isn't tuned, you ain't getting it, or you're getting a different part of it. Now, that takes a bit to kind of figure it out, and I think you kind of did that a little bit from the point of view is that, why are things going, and then you kind of go, okay, maybe we should be looking at this kind of stuff.
So that's when I say you have to look at what you're inputting through your eyes and your ears, the programs you're watching. Is it bringing down your frequency? The radio station that you're listening to, a lot of lyrics and songs are actually programming your subconscious mind.
The same way meditation does.
Yeah, exactly. So the more you spend time meditating and choosing your own programming rather than being a recipient to the greater programming, you're probably going to be doing a lot better.
That's one side of it, is what you pay attention to. But there's things in life that are happening to you that you have no control over.
Exactly.
That produce that exact same program,
same
frequency.
So how the universe responds is what you focus on expands.
Right. Exactly.
So if you're going to focus on love, you're going to be vibrating at a higher frequency. If you're going to be, it's not to say that you don't. I have frustrating days.
Even the most enlightened person will have a bad day, right?
But that all boils down to the positive side of things and the negative side. However we interpret it,
sleep if you have to. When you wake up to be clear. And I just found out a few months ago that actually works.
It does.
I was blown away. I didn't.
But you don't know you don't.
I wouldn't let myself nap for years.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of people get on the hamster wheel and they won't get off. And then
once I took the time, I realized, holy smokes, actually.
Or walk in nature.
Open your mind
if you want to get clarity, go walk in nature.
We're going to move on, guys. Okay. Mistake number 8. I don't want to cut you off, because what we just did is probably a good session by itself. And I don't think I want to continue it from the point of view is that we're not doing it justice unless we do it justice. So that may be one of the next ones we're going to do. Okay, number 7. 8. Okay. They don't do it often enough. Okay. Repetition is the key. You have to visualize, say your affirmations, and do your other manifesting rituals every day. The best times are immediately after waking up and right before going to sleep. But you can do it also when you're waiting in line, washing dishes, brushing your teeth. Anyway, repetition is the key. And that's in anything. Because like I said, you do something, what's that phrase? You do something 10,000 times and you're an expert?
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. No, I know it's 10,000 something.
Which one's more?
But make it a habit. And I didn't actually highlight that. But repetition basically is the basis of a habit. Now this is where it gets interesting, because habits change. So you've got to almost it's much like your checklist, the top 5 or top 20%. Your top 5 or top 20% habits have to be positive. They have to generate or transmit a positive frequency, because the universe, and this is what, and it kind of makes sense, is that it doesn't want to hear everything from you. To say that, it wants to hear the positive stuff. If it hears the positive stuff, it's going to come your way.
Oh, but it will hear the negative stuff too and give it back to you. So that's where you have to be careful as an individual not to put that part of it out, because it will respond.
And you can't say the words don't. Like I don't. Or I'm going to be whatever. You have, the positive comes in the word is like a verb.
Choose,
So
or
you make it a verb.
Or I plan. Or
Present tense.
Yeah.
So all this stuff rolls around the same stuff. It's just that it's another look at it a little bit. And don't beat yourself up.
Well, that takes you right back to negative frequency.
Again, like, so we're talking about
neuro-linguistic.
So it's NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is part of the training that I have. So what you say is, like they say, how, for instance, like, don't run, by the pool. It's better to say, walk slow, like stated in the affirmative. Yeah. So but you know what? Out there, it doesn't talk like that. So it's always like deprogrammed.
Well, I'm under the opinion that I missed number 7.
Hang on. You're the pilot. What's going on?
You know what? We were on our way to Barbados, but I wanted to go to Cancun. We're going south. We're going south.
Going someplace.
Okay. Mistake number 7. Their desire is not congruent with your values. Okay. You won't get lean if you value the pleasure of buffet. You won't get rich if you value spending a lot of time with your happy-go-lucky friends. Okay, so to fix it, write down your most important values. And actually, this probably should be way up front.
Yeah.
Then
it's a reminder, because that's where we started, right? Make the checklist. So now it's kind of
it's coming back to
that.
Because it's your heart's desire, where your heart is going to be in your core values. No? You disagree?
Not so much disagree. You have to think about it a little bit more. I'll leave that alone for me.
The values are how you go about achieving the goals. It would be the way I would read that. And you've got to ensure that your values and what you're doing is congruent with those values that you have within you. So, like it does say at the top about, you won't get rich if you're with your happy-go-lucky friends. You need to actually sit down and work. But what are your values?
And work, and you're working within those values to get rich.
To achieve your goals.
Right.
Or to manifest your goals, or to put it out that... Yeah, because if you're conflicted within, the universe will be conflicted how to respond.
Exactly.
That almost brings the discussion between values and mission.
Right.
Like values to me are core.
It's honesty,
integrity.
Yeah.
I use those to apply to getting my goals and my desires. So it's like it's a good analogy here is that if you don't have values, or your values are constantly changing, you'll never get your desires. I'll do it the other way, the negative way, unfortunately. It proves the point.
Or if you even do achieve them, by whatever means, they don't last.
Correct.
Or they'll be taken away.
Or you end up in jail or something.
Or,
again.
I mean...
Depends on who you're around.
Positive guys.
Where have you been?
Well, who's to say that jail for some is not positive?
Yeah, there we go.
Richard should be here for that one.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It's true.
Because some have to turn their life around, and sometimes that being in that situation than does.
Well, I guess
You have to admit.
Oh yeah. Well, you have to.
Absolutely.
Well, you have to understand what. You have to have
Everybody's
some,
doing it isn't good enough.
You have to have some sort of.
Yeah.
You have to have morality.
It wasn't
Yeah,
my
but you
fault.
also have to look at some people are in jail because of the environment that they grew up in. They don't know anything different.
That's true.
And, you know, I mean, if you don't have, yeah, I mean, nothing more needs to
And
be
again,
said.
not to all. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
sometimes in
Yeah,
some
but
cases.
okay, well, let's just expand on that a little bit. Okay, you're
No, I haven't been to jail.
Neither have I.
This week.
Few speeding tickets, maybe.
But what I'm saying is, based on what kind of that scenario is, those values are coming from a bottom line position, or you know, so you know your life is a worst possible place.
Right.
So you have a choice. You know, you have to have some kind of values, be it intentional or they've been given to you, sort of thing. So that's probably not a bad place to start. It's a good analogy.
Something Richard said this morning. Every experience in your life it's not by accident, and sometimes through what you think is like in jail, for example, you meet a person. That person can change your life. It can be in jail. It could be school. It could be
If they're
whatever.
open to it.
Yeah.
But
You have to be open to it, and that means your heart is
by
open.
a single word or a single or the way somebody looks. It can be anything, but it triggers you. So then that jail experience becomes what brings you to an elevation, a higher place.
Could be that step, right?
Yes, it
Now, the
starts you
question-
on that path.
But this is really interesting. Okay, so you're in jail. We can use your analogy.
Now we know. Now we know.
But you're in jail for missing out speeding tickets. Okay, you're at the bottom in that situation, so you can come to your values. Now, is that really your bottom, or do you have to drop a little bit more to get more values?
Well, and that's it.
I think speeding tickets, for one thing, is probably not the right analogy.
No.
It's probably something more criminal.
Like murder.
But what I'm saying, I guess my point is, okay, we're in a bad spot. We're starting to compose values, we'll say. Okay, so those are a set of values, but those may not be the values that if you drop further down or you're in a different situation with different values.
And they can change depending on your experience.
That's my point.
Yeah. So, I mean, prison to anybody could be just a rock bottom, whatever that might be for them in their lives. Right?
Unless they get stabbed in prison.
Well, Conrad
Then your
Black
bottom
went into
changes, your values
prison, okay?
change.
So it's not all.
Caught up in his reading.
Yeah, exactly. He used it. Used the time effectively.
All right, we'll get off the.
And Bella did as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah, exactly. You don't always. Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess what we concur with is that we do have to have values. You know, good, bad, or different.
Well, there's
in
a
different
certain
levels.
society has to have a certain sense of order.
I guess-
Otherwise, anarchy would not do well. I mean, it's not a perfect system by no means.
Oh, we
but-
see that in
think-
some parts of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The key
Yeah.
is that values
I mean,
change.
they can't even have a proper election.
Okay, mistake number 9. I'm tired of
Trying to
that.
help those parts of the world. You
Trying
can't
to get
fix
past jail. Okay, they don't give much. Okay, most people don't realize that you attract more of something by giving it away. That's almost much like, well, we'll leave it on. Okay, fix it. If you want more love, give love. If you want more friends, be a friend to everyone. If you want to get rich, donate a certain portion of your savings to the less fortunate. If you want to become fit, teach and help others to do it. What you give away will come back to you exponentially. There's phrases out there, giver's gain and law of reciprocity and all the other stuff. I think this is, it's a universal law of non-discrimination. Now, the question becomes, is how, say you're in a tough financial situation.
That's what I was just saying. Yeah.
It's going to be tough to give. If you're tough in emotional situation, it's going to be tough. My read of this is that, okay, if I financially can't help somebody, but I can financially help them with my time.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you can't it's your perception of giving. You may not be able to. It's helping is anything. It's whatever you have inside of you, and it took me a long time to figure that out too.
Time is often a greater value than money. It's always.
Yeah. Well, it's like the teaching the man to
Money,
fish.
but you can't replace time.
Right.
That's correct.
It's like exactly like it's all. Life is about time and money. Those two things. Like we are not living in a world where we don't need money.
Right.
It hasn't happened yet. You know what? Hopefully there will be a time when that does happen and we can all do our deepest heart's desire. But really, you do have to find your place in the cog, and hopefully you're doing something that you love. That sometimes things just get birthed out of just
continuing
it's
on
giving
that.
your time and giving your love,
But
a universal love.
But believe that you can do it. Like I said, I've heard tinges of excuses.
Well, there's.
And I'm not denying it. Trust me. Like I have the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just that what I'm saying is that
Demographics is a real thing.
like to me, I could do anything I want. That's what I do every morning. I don't care what country I'm in, wherever I want. The question becomes is how do I get
Is it legal?
You're going to be with mommy.
As we're back at it.
And we're back at it.
So Ron, you want to invest in my cannabis company? Is that what you're telling me?
It's legal now.
It's legal now, Ron.
In the U.S.
That's another discussion. I do that.
Okay, so
I just wanted to make one like giving is like giving of yourself. If you don't fill up the cup, it's empty. And then there is and quite often this is a thing that happens to women because they're natural givers, they're natural nurturers. It's part of our fabric. And really, look at any household where, the woman is the heart of the home, and a good man will recognize that
That's
and
right.
nurture that. So the other piece is giving too much without replenishing creates codependency. Codependency is a prerequisite for addiction. So you need to, some people are addicted to giving, and they, like for women, they become a complete shell. You look at them, and you can tell they're a complete mess. And it's hard for children to see that. They'll say, my mother's let herself go, she's, this and that. And that is, so while the universe does, the universe loves the give and take.
But by loving others,
like the takers, like children are natural takers. But you know what? You can clean it. You can say to a 2-year-old after something's been spilled, "What do we got to do?" They know what to do. They go get a rag, and you help them clean it up. That's how they learn organically. It's not like you spilled that milk. Well, that's probably programming something in the subconscious mind. Is I'm a screw up or whatever, and then so those sorts of things. But the big piece is good, healthy relationships are give and take. The word narcissistic is coming out, and it's very prevalent. Those people are takers. There really should be a hole for them, and you just push them in and let them feed off of each other. Then we would have highest vibrational love energy to manifest.
They would be sitting there, why is this happening to me? I can't believe it.
This is your fault.
Yeah, no kidding.
moving along. Because each one of these can go really long. Okay.
Fleshing them out.
Yeah, number 10. They reject their blessings. I like this one. Even if you think it's not what you intended to attract, it could lead you to your ultimate desire. So, accept it and be grateful. The universe knows what's best for you, so just trust it and let it guide you to the attainment of your desire in its own special and sometimes less familiar ways. That's kind of where the big belief system comes in. Even though, hey, I want this, but I have to get this to get to here. And then usually what happens is I get this, I go, I don't want this no more. So,
when you're when bad things happen, there is a blessing in that, because whatever that is, it's taking you somewhere, and by that, somewhere down the line, you're going to look back on that thing, whatever it is, and the blessing is where you are now, and what you've caught from that, and what you've gained, and it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it's years down the road. But if that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, there's a phrase that they use, and you've probably heard of this. There's no such thing as a failure.
Just found another way it didn't work, so let's move on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so cliche-ish, but if you think about it, it's dead on. It's dead on.
And that's something that we really need to recognize, I think, is that with every failure comes the opportunity, and that's a learning thing. And if we never fail, there really is no step to improvement, right? If everything's smooth sailing for everything, how are you going to learn or know or even expand everything? Expand your life.
Right now.
Well, then when it does come to either failure or something bad happens, you have no idea what to do.
That's where the acceptance
Absolutely.
comes in.
Yeah, and then that's when you even fail more. But it's people, sometimes those people who believe that they're always doing right, when something does go wrong, they're in the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's brings up a different topic, or a topic that I wish more people would speak into other people's lives. Like, pigs don't know pig stink.
Right.
So you're going through life believing you're doing everything right. Not a bad idea if somebody just kind of takes you aside and says, you know, why don't you try it this way instead of that? See if you can.
But you have to see.
Because sometimes you don't know. You don't know.
You have to see another animal in the field.
Open, right? Some people are not.
Yeah.
Well, ignorance is not bliss, and what you don't know will hurt you, kind of thing. You know, all the cliches, but the thing is, you don't know that you're doing something wrong. So how do we approach people without hurting their feelings?
I agree with that all the time.
It's so hard.
The world is becoming more and more sensitive, so...
We're offended by everything.
Yeah.
Don't even go there. I don't even want to talk about it.
But that is something definitely to ponder, because we do need to evolve to a level where we need to say...
You're going to be... If you concentrate on how you're going to approach something, or if you're going to hurt someone's feelings or offend somebody, then you take away the honesty factor. I mean, and being able to have a real conversation. You have to go into it with, listen, I don't want to offend you by, or don't take this as a personal comment or whatever, and be able to speak your truth, and then let that person decide if they take it or leave it. The people who are offended have to make that decision and say, I don't take offense to that, I just disagree with that. The world, the society has to get to that point. We're just starting to go into the whole being over-defensive and over-sensitive. I'm using the word over because it's expanding, as opposed to allowing people to be able to express their opinions, and the choice remain with the individual to take it or leave it.
I want to put a spin on this. In my world, I deal with people all the time, see people all the time, think they're doing something physically well. In reality, they're not getting anything out of it.
Right.
You guys want a coffee? So some people will be offended by whatever term you want. They don't tell me what to do. That kind of attitude.
Yeah.
In my belief, a person has to be open-minded to input. Input, of course, has to be done in a fairly
respectful.
Thank you.
Respectful but honest.
Yeah.
But if the
There's a lack of trust there. Can I trust you?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Can I trust what you tell me?
So there's the trust factor, there's the honesty, the respectful factor, and
proper communication, learning how to speak.
but the person, the receiver, also, but they have to be right.
This is where your frequency, you have to transmit and receive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
And that's really side by side to the energy aspect possible. Because like I said, you can be telling me the right stuff, but then thinking everything else. And if I'm tuned on at this, and you're coming at me at this, nothing's working. But it's not so much what's coming to you, it's what you're portraying. Because all this great stuff is coming, but I may be putting this garbage.
And I think that's where a lot of people they hear, but they don't listen. Right? And I think that's the big thing. There's so many people that just all they do is hear. okay, well, that's enough of that. Instead of, okay, listen, and then get into a conversation.
You have your predefined opinions are subconscious.
Right, so some people just have to get out of their high horse, come down to earth, and then have a discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of that is obviously tied back to this failure aspect.
That means that's you know, like the biggest challenge that people have is learning how to think.
Ah, yes.
Huge.
That's a conversation.
Sorry.
You're on to my technique. So I guess basically we've covered the 10 mistakes, we've covered the fixes. Hopefully the interaction was absolutely great, and thank you, Barry, for recording it. I'm probably going to sit back and kind of do my notes at that point. If there's one of the items here, or one of the fixes that really, really resonates with you, take it home, read it, get a cup of coffee, and just spend a little bit more time. Because these are just points to get your brain moving, get your stuff going on. The only thing that's going to really help you is, as was mentioned before, action. If this goes into the back of your car and stays there until summertime, that's kind of the way it's going to work. So, anyway, now, okay, we're back to item number 4. Okay, there's a little bit more, a couple things on it. Okay, we were doing this once a month. Now we're kind of doing it every 2 weeks. So the next meeting, it will be November 13th and the 27th. I haven't made the arrangements yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is that still good?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, stick on Wednesday. I'm not sure. Now, like I said, I've exhausted this already, so I'm going to be thinking of something else. But you got to remember, that's what I need. I'd like to have you guys come up with some patience and we're trying to get you guys some topics or stuff like that. Failing that, I probably will do so.
I'm almost thinking that some of the things we discussed today would be great topics to delve into, even one concrete idea from today.
There's so many we could go on.
Well, no, this is never ending. The content aspect of the law of attraction, it'll never dry out. But my thing is, I'll once Barry has this all done and we can post it, then I'd like you guys to come back and say, okay, there's 3 topics. What do you guys want to
trying to provide like a safer.
Like I said, I'm the pilot.
We bring you
I just need a destination.
So like we're bringing you in.
And I'll fill in the gaps. Okay, so we're good on 13th and 17th. Now, again, this was just a thought that I thought. Okay, law of attraction, December 11th. Okay, but I'm thinking something like a potluck networking. This is just a thought.
Great idea.
So we'll maybe have a 10 or 15, 20 minute discussion, and then we're going to have a potluck. Like I said, I just thought of it. I act on my prompting.
Well, when?
December 11th.
December
Like a
11th.
lunch? Potluck?
Well, that's.
Like we're meeting at 11?
They have a carrier on board.
I was going there. Easy, buddy.
Have a plan on menu for us, and we will spend some money over towards that.
Or I think it would be more fun. Potluck. Honestly, I think potluck is really fun. Because I like eating other people's food.
Different countries' food.
But that doesn't preclude her from giving me some of the desserts that she wants.
Yes, true that.
And that could be the potluck. So I kind of agree, but
You almost got it. I tried to help you on that.
But okay, so I guess now the question becomes: is it going to be a lunch thing, or are we going to do it in the evening?
If you do it in a mixer, wouldn't it be better?
Yeah, more people done with work.
Yeah, see, both the middle of December, people don't do nothing anyway. Except
I've got meetings Wednesday and Thursday nights, so.
Okay, so we're thinking evening. Now, you got to remember, I don't know if anything's available. I'll have to check with Suzanne.
And like you
I
guys
think lunch is good.
Yeah, lunch is fine too if that's all that can be arranged, because I'd rather do something than not do it and have a lot of people not be able to come.
Well, part of when I made a decision to kind of run this during lunch, because people suggested doing it in the evening. I find that people get home and running out kids, so lunch kind of makes, hey, this is a date. It's just like I used to be in BNI, and one of the situations where I don't have time to come every lunch sort of thing, that kind of stuff, that kind of excuse. My comment to them is always consider them the people that you're around the table with, your greatest customers. Would you not schedule your greatest customers? That's my philosophy. Well, the thing is, yes, is it going to be good for everybody? Not likely, but there's going to be a push. And I don't know if it's the 11th or 12th. My concept was, hey, what do you think about potluck and mix it?
Or it could even be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or 3 o'clock. You know, it doesn't have to be in the evening if you can't do it for lunch.
Well, the other thing that I would
we have to
too
pick an agreement.
Well,
And then
exactly,
schedule, you make the effort to
But first of all, we've got to find the venue, the place.
That'll be
Here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it could be 3 for the potluck stuff, and then till 6 as the mixer.
Well, even we had quite a few number of people coming here already this morning for 11.
Yeah, or 6.
It doesn't matter.
Well, I'll let you know. So everybody's flexible.
We'll see when it's available.
Okay. Now, other situations. Any other comments at this point from anybody? Nope.
Thank you, Oris.
No. I believe that you're going to thank me. Okay, so now, one of the suggestions, again, one of my promptings, I thought, and what came across is that I attached a couple of things here. Right at the end, there was 2 secret phrases. And I just picked secret because they came across my desk. But a lot of our law of attraction stuff is very motivational, inspirational kind of stuff. And so my thought was, it came across my Facebook page, and I put it on my website. But to me, that stuff is gone in seconds, or it's gone in minutes. So what I was thinking of doing is, I talked to a gentleman in Montreal. They set up a card club, basically. And what a card club is that this creative process that would go out as a card. Be it a greeting card, or a flat card, or whatever else. And people would take these cards and put them on their fridges and everything else. But his key was, the way they do it is every day they have a card, motivation, inspiration, and then they pick the card of the week, and then that gets sent to them. Part of the reason that it works for me, and part of the reason it works for a lot of people, and this gentleman in Montreal, is that he's part of a company that does this. I wouldn't send out cards. It doesn't cost me. So it's one of those kind of things. So, but the key that he said is don't emphasize anything but I'm having a bad day. This is on my window, on my desk. Is there any value to it? And he said there's tons of value. He says every group is different. So that's kind of where I was going. Now, right now, I'm posting this on our website, on our group thing. Would there be any value in getting it physically?
I'd stick it on my fridge. I'd stick it on mine here. I put it in my planner and have to look at it all day long.
But I think that it's a bit long. So I think it should be in maybe a long or shorter. You know, if you have ask them.
In 2 weeks ago.
You know, when you go to somebody's house and you ask them.
Well, here, actually, Madeline sent me a card. This is Madeline. Happy Halloween. So what they do in Montreal is do this. They basically have, what he does in walking, he does it 2 tiers. He does 5 cards or 6 cards or whatever they do every week. They put it into one of these things. And this is a 2-level, they use the 3-level. So it'll be,
like a trifold, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this card will be on this. The second card.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
So that's the way they do it in Montreal.
Yeah.
So it's a summary of the week.
Yeah.
And then there's the individual things like this kind of thing, where it's a flat card. That's the way they do it. Because what's going to happen, and what he said is, Horst, I'm glad that you do this kind of stuff. But 2 things are going to happen. The real quote-unquote keeners will have this on the edge of the desk and they'll be doing it. The other ones will put it in a file.
Everybody's different, right?
Exactly right. He says, but what happens is this, something like this, they really stays out.
Well, it's like when you get your Christmas
And I
card
actually
for
like
your
this one
birthday
because it's all on one piece of thing, and you put it on your fridge.
They're both great because this would be different. This would be
that I would carry with
thought.
me.
This
That would be a card that I would place somewhere in my home.
They make good bookmarks too.
Yeah.
Exactly. For my law of attraction notes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, for example, he's done this one. The moon taught me it's okay to go through phases, all the phases. The sun taught me no matter how many times you go down, you keep rising.
Those are both awesome.
I know.
So really what I'm saying is that, yes, we have the secret stuff, which I tend to agree with you, tend to be a little longer.
The secret's pulling direct quotes from the book.
Right, exactly. But like to me, like this creative process where it's got, asking, believing, that is a whole discussion by itself.
Yeah, like absolutely. I love that. It changed me. I'm sorry.
One that I had the other day was someone thanked me for my time.
Yeah.
Someone thanked me for my time, which I was really thank you for your time.
So you're going to remember that
It
person.
made me think. It really did.
So, and like I said,
They're the same thing.
Gilles kind of says that his preference is, yes, do this kind of stuff that you do in a meeting. He says, but then do something like this or this. And I'm just throwing it out. Like I don't know, Maddie.
They both have values for different people. I think they're both great ideas.
But it'll be part of our group from the point of view of you become a member and you become effective in the group. This is something else because it's value added. As you probably realize, I'm just trying to figure out where this is all going. I know where it's all going. I think I know where it's all going.
Not how it's going to get there.
How it's going to get there, I don't care. I know it's getting there.
Yeah.
That's kind of. But I guess really. Okay, so that's kind of it. So, as you can see, I'm good with promptings. I'm good with some ideas. Sometimes are not there. So 5 weeks in a card like this, the winner of the week like this. Is that kind of what
that's a good idea.
Okay. Okay, I think I don't have anything else unless there's something else. Wrap up. Any of this stuff here, the cards, I'm going to need addresses.
You're going to mail them out now?
I'll give you something to cry about in a minute. Keep it up.
Wait, did I send you anything now? I sent you a card.
Okay.
No, you know what? My memory is going. Mailing address. Just pass that around.
Ron does too. that's okay.
So I guess the takeaway here is that we're going to review Barry's video, not Barry's video, our video.
Oh my God, my son did too.
Pick 2 or 3
Well, that's me for this
and then
entire
we'll go
month.
with that.
Like,
If that doesn't work, I'll come up and I'll give you details on the other stuff.
Stop it.
Okay, does that make sense?
You let it go, son.
Yeah. You have to let that go too, even if it's good. Move on, woman.
Now, okay, this, once I figure out what the date is, I'm going to need somebody that wants to take charge of the potluck thing.
What? Say that again, Horace?
It says what potluck is going to be December 11th to 12th, whatever that thing is.
You need an organizer?
I'm going to need an organizer. Somebody who loves details. Or a couple. We can talk about next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about next week. We'll have time yet.
Next one.
Yeah, it'll be 13th. Did I say 13th?
13th.